Hi everyone, this is Sir Mangkiat. As we start our first lesson in organization and management, I just want to ask if you are well prepared to learn. May handa mo na ba ang sarili mo? Ang notebook at ballpen mo? Are your senses all activated? If yes, let's begin! So for today's lesson, we will discuss the nature and functions of management. Hindi ka ba nagtataka kung bakit tayo nabubuhay pa rin ngayon? Kung bakit sa kabila ng kahirapan, we still exist? What if there are no school and company buildings, houses and vehicles? Can we still live? Para saan ba ang sistema na meron tayo ngayon? Mapa-political system o economic system man? What if we don't have monetary and fiscal policies? What made the systems in our government and private institutions? All of this involves management. Management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources to achieve specific objectives. From this definition, we can say that there are four functions of management, namely planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, or what we call policy. Management is a process. It uses resources like people, money, materials or machines, and time. It also aims to achieve objectives. Let's be more detailed. Management is a process, meaning, bago natin magawa o makuha mga bagay na gusto natin, we need to take every step of the process. For example, you want to buy a gadget. Before you get it, you have to think of ways on how you're going to buy it. Kailangan mong pag-ipunan. Kailangan mo ring mag-prepare ng budget because you have a limited amount of money. How will you control yourself to limit your spending? Also, kanino ka hihingi ng tulong for you to know the best specifications of that gadget? In other words, you need to plan, organize, lead, and control. Let's have an overview about planning. It is defined as the process of identifying the objectives of a task, assignment, or cause and the corresponding activities to achieve those objectives. As you can see, planning starts from setting your objectives. Ano bang pakay mo? Bakit mo gustong gawin ang isang bagay? For example, you got low scores in your examinations. This may be a problem for you because you need to qualify for a scholarship grant. And for that, your objective is to get a high score for your next examination. Please remember that planning is everything. Since most problems and challenges can be complicated, plans must be formal and documented so that you will not miss something important in the process. From this, you might need to have a work plan. A work plan is a visual planning tool in the form of a summary table which usually contains the following information: the objectives, corresponding activities to accomplish the given objectives, the persons responsible for doing the identified activities, the time frame to accomplish each of the activities, and the resources needed. Now, here is the example of a formal and documented work plan. Please take time to read this. After planning is organizing. It is defined as gathering the resources required to carry out the objectives and allocating the effective and efficient use of those resources. According to Peter F. Drucker, effectiveness means doing the right things while efficiency means doing things right. Ano ba ang pagkakaiba nilang dalawa? Let's say, ang goal mo ngayong araw ay makatapos ng 5 activities sa isang subject. Then you have successfully accomplished those activities. That means you are effective. You have reached your goal. Kapag naman nagawa mo ang 5 activities sa loob lamang ng kalahating araw, and also you make time for yourself, let's say, nakapagpahinga ka, nakapanood ka pa, or nasimulan mo pa ang isang activity, then we can say that you are efficient. Why? Because you maximize your resources, which is time. Let's take a look at this diagram. With this, we can evaluate options or alternatives when we make decisions. At the top is effectivity, and on the left side is efficiency. Kapag ang isang action or solution to a problem ay efficient and at the same time effective, you have to always do that action. Kapag ang isang action naman ay hindi effective, pero siya naman ay efficient, kailangan mong itigil o wag mo nang gawin yung action na yon. Why? Because you might not achieve your goal. On the other hand, if hindi siya efficient, pero effective, pwede mong ituloy ang action na yon but you need to have improvements. Bakit? Kasi baka may masasayang kang resources, baka masyado kang mabagal o sobrang bilis, baka may kulang o labis sa mga ginagawa mo. And lastly, of course, if it's not efficient and at the same time not effective, never do that action. The relationship between effectivity and efficiency can help you when it comes to decision making. What is the significance of organizing? With this, madali nating malalaman kung ano mga kailangan nating resources, bakit natin sila kailangan, paano natin makukuha mga kailangang resources at kung kailan natin sila kakailanganin. With organizing, everything will run smoothly. Also, with organizing, we can prevent confusions about the tasks of the members of the organization by means of establishing a management structure. Alam kasi ng mga members ng isang organization kung ano ang trabaho ng bawat isa at kung hanggang saan lamang ang responsibilities nila. At the same time, sino ang dapat mag-lead o magbigay ng authority to do such jobs. The third function is leading. It is defined as a process which encompasses the following. Number 1, influencing other people to perform the way you wish them to. Directing other people to achieve the desired objectives. The third one is coordinating the proper implementation of activities. 4, communicating effectively across various groups. And number 5, motivating individuals to perform their best. Isa sa pinakamahirap na trabaho ng isang manager ay ang mamuno. Since we have different personalities and preferences, it is difficult for a leader or manager to lead his or her team. Magkakaiba kasi tayo. It takes a lot of confidence, knowledge, and skills for a manager to unite members as a team despite of differences. That's why leadership trainings and seminars are essential to management. These are the characteristics of a good leader. If you know other characteristics of a good leader, which is not included in this presentation, comment down below. The last function of management is controlling. It is defined as monitoring and evaluation of activities undertaken in relation to the stated objectives. With controlling, na-evaluate natin kung natutupad ba ang mga ginawa nating plano or hindi. Alalaman din natin kung ano ang mga dahilan ng problema during the execution of the plan. Nakakaisip tayo ng paraan para maiwasan ang mga nararanasan nating problema at nakakahanap tayo ng mga paraan para mas pagbutihin pa ang mga bagay-bagay. For example, after planning on how to get high scores, you ended up still disappointed. Even though there is a slight increase, it did not reach the passing score despite of taking additional time to study at home. So what will you do next? You need to evaluate or reflect on yourself to improve your plan. In relation to controlling, quality control is important. Bakit? Dahil sa mga manufacturing companies, even in service industry, quality is one of the most important considerations consumers required when buying. The goal of every company is to reduce the number of defects. Kailangang mabawasan ang bilang ng mga produkto na may depekto. When it comes to service like transportation and communication, the services they are offering must be of high quality also for customer satisfaction. Management is also using proper resources. The goal is to have the right quantity and quality of resources at the right time. Why? Because we have limited resources. Kung natatandaan mo pa sa mga pinag-aralan mo sa economics, mayroon lamang tayong limitadong pinagkukunang yaman. Lahat ay nauubos, nasisira, o nawawala. Like economics, management is also concerned to how scarce resources must be used. And lastly, management aims to achieve objectives. Objective must be SMART. SMART objective is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Kinakailangan ng objective natin ay detalyado. If you want something that can help you log into your learning management system account, you will not say that you want to have a cell phone. That is because there are still basic phones that do not support internet connection and other modern applications. To be specific, you must identify the specifications of that cell phone. Next is measurable. Kinakailangan na nasusukat natin ang objectives natin. We have to set standards on how we can tell that objectives are already met. Next one is attainable. For it to become attainable, we need to design strategies on how to achieve our objectives. We cannot say that an objective is attainable if it is impossible to do. Next is realistic. Kinakailangan na ito ay matotohanan. If you want to travel the world, you cannot fly without riding an airplane, and you cannot swim the ocean on your own just to go to very far places. Last is time-bound. Kinakailangan na alam mo kung hanggang kailan mo lang dapat matapos ang isang activity. Your objective must be matched with your time frame. In pursuing the objectives, your approach may adopt a certain perspective. The first one is the investment perspective. This is kung ang gusto mo ay kumita at lumago ang iyong investment. For example, your objective is to earn 10,000 pesos from your money invested in the business. Then it is an investment perspective. The second one is the ethical perspective. You need also to consider if your objectives are fair and ethically correct, meaning you also have to consider the common good o ang makabubuti sa nakararami. Next is individual fulfillment perspective. As managers, you are responsible to empower your members to reach their potential. You need to consider the welfare of your members in setting for objectives. Lastly is the comparison between mainstream and multi-stream perspective. When we say mainstream perspective, nakafocus lamang ang objectives mo sa kung paano kikita at maging productive ang grupo o kumpanya mo. On the other hand, we can say that there is multi-stream perspective if besides from profitability, productivity, and competitiveness of a company, it also emphasizes the well-being of its stakeholders. Dito napapasok ang mga bagay na makakapagpa-uplift ng dignidad ng mga tao sa trabaho at mga bagay na makatutulong sa community in general. For example, is emphasizing the gender and age equality at work. Proper management of things in our lives is very essential. Without this, our problems will not be solved. The quality of life will not improve. I hope that you learned something useful from this lesson today. Once again, this is Sir Mandiat. All is well. Challenge accepted.